Hello, I think the session started, so welcome to everyone who is in the meeting. I will wait a few seconds, minute that the last one will come in the meeting. So the session for information for those who are here. Hello everyone. So the session will start at 4 p.m. So it will start right now. So it's 4 p.m. Central European time. So it depends where you are based. The session could be different. The time zone could be different. So the session will last between 35 and 45 minutes. And that will include a presentation. And if you have any question, it will include also a Q&A session at the end. So I will start, and maybe if some are coming in the meeting, they will join us during the presentation. But I will start for the ones who are here. So before talking about the program and present the webinar, I will quickly introduce myself for those I don't know. So my name is Lorraine. I'm marketing officer at TinyMDM, and I will be the one who will present you this webinar today. So I've probably talked to some of you, but probably not to everyone. So nice to meet you to the one that I don't know. Just to let you know, in this webinar, you can ask questions if you want. I will answer all the questions at the end of the session. So I will present you the webinar, and at the end, if you have any question, I will answer them at the end. So during this webinar, we are going to see many things. We are going to talk about digital in school, the growing trend. So what is digital learning? We will see a quick evolution of digital in schools and a few key features. Then we're going to see the benefits of digital in school, what is the interest to implement it in the classrooms. But we are also going to see the problems that could be encountered if the devices are not managed in the school. And then we are going to see how we can manage the issue that we can encounter by setting up an MDM solution. And then I will show you a use case and answer the question that you might have. So digital learning, what does digital learning means? So digital learning, it could be described as the use of digital technology in learning content. So it could be described as the use of digital tools, so computer, laptop, but also tablet, smartphone. These are the devices, and then you can have the content that can be pushed on the devices during classroom, so it will help students to learn more in the classroom. So this is what digital learning means. This is what it means. So digital learning, it started a few decades ago, but now since 2020, so since the pandemic, you will see that digital learning really increased in the classroom, and it's something that is really needed in the classroom by the teacher. They really want to increase this part. So inside the classroom, we are going to see some figures. How does it work? What are the figures that we can find on the tablets or on the digital learning in the school? So we're going to see in different areas in the world. The first one, in the United States, we can see that 40% of US schools have a 1-1 student computing program. This is research that I found according to the Common Sense Census report, which is called the 21st Century Classroom. And it said that in 2019, 40% of US classrooms have this 1-to-1 student program. Just to explain to some of you who don't know probably what the 1-1 student program is, it's, if you want me to explain, it's an educational practice where the schools provide every student with at least one computer, one laptop, one tablet, one digital screen, and it's one per student. So it's not one that you share between all, but it's one per student. So in 2019, 40% of US schools have it. So it's a lot of schools, because we know that United States are great, so are big. So it means a lot of students who have it. And also, I didn't mention it in the presentation, but according to this report, we also see that 30% of schools in the United States have at least one device for 5 students. So on one part, we have 40% who have a one-one student program, and on the other part, we have 30% who have a one device for 5 students. So in the United States, digital learning is something that's really big since 2019, and I let you imagine how it could be now since 2020, since the pandemic. Second figures that we have is 78%, sorry, of respondents believe that digital tools, so digital board, tablets, laptop, improve learning. This is a study that was made in France in 2021, and it's according to the Odoxa Institute. And it said that most of the respondents, so it's French respondent, it's not only classroom, but it could be student, teacher, administrator in France, who said that tablets, for example, tablets and laptops could be really useful to improve the learning, either in class, but also outside the class, or to be able to practice the exercises that will be done in classroom. And last figure is 40%. So 40% of educators across the European Union now, they are felt ready to use digital technologies in classroom. So it was in 2018. So at this moment, it was only 40% that felt it could be interesting to have it into the classroom. But you can imagine that this figure increased since the pandemic. So this was a report that was made in 2018, sorry, by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. But now they didn't push a report since 2018, but now you can imagine that it really increased since this period. So now we are going to talk about the benefits, because we see the trend of having digital learning in schools, but now we are going to see the benefits to have it, because yes, a lot of people want to increase digital learning in school with digital tablets, for example. But what are really the benefits to have it in the classroom? That's what we are going to see. So we have many benefits of integrating digital tools into classrooms. So the first one that we can have is to teach students how to use tools in an educational environment. Because providing tablets, we can imagine that providing tablets to students, we can have the image that it will be bad for the student. They will always be in front of a screen, etc. It will be something bad, but it's the opposite that happened, because providing tablets could also allow students to understand how tablet worked and how could it be interesting for them to use it as a learning tool and as a working tool, and not only as a distraction after school to watch a movie. It could really be something that can help them watch an application, watch a program for school. Another benefit of integrating digital tools with the classroom is to promote learning by reducing the digital divide. Indeed, having access for all students to digital tools, it will avoid gaps between students that have powerful devices, powerful tablets, and those one who do not have it at home. So here, if as a school you provide tablets to every student, so every student has a tablet, it will enable to reduce the digital divide, because every student will have the same competence and the same devices to work on. Third one, to promote autonomy and reduce the weight of the school bag. Yes, it's true, providing tablets will enable us to have a lot less textbooks used on the bag, so it will reduce the size of the bag, because we know that having a lot of books can be really heavy in the bag. And it will also promote the autonomy, because each student will be able to access the document and the application needed whenever he needs it. It will be able to access it without the instructor to ask him to access it. The fourth one, to adapt activities to student rhythm and needs. It's linked to the third one. One of the benefits of integrating digital tools is say that you can adapt each activity to every student. You can say we will have different application on the tablets, and for example, half of the classroom will access 3 exercises on the tablet, and the other half will access more difficult exercises, and we will change at a time, but it's possible to adapt the activity to every student. And also, it's not like the blackboard where the teacher can write down and each student have to write down everything without understanding it. Here, the student don't have to write everything down and quickly and don't understand how it works. He is able to access his application or his document or his video on the tablet, and he can take the time to access it and to understand how the document works. So it could really be a benefit to help the students. Another benefit is to help the development of collaboration between students, because you can have in the classroom one device for one student, but you can also have one device for a group of students. So they will be able to work in group together and to access document together, to understand how it works. So it will increase the collaboration to know how to work in groups for each student. And last but not least, it will helps to facilitate communication with families. We saw that with the pandemic. Many families were not used to work with digital tools. Didn't have many families didn't have any laptop, any computer, so it was complicated during the pandemic, for example, to have access to discuss with the family or to exchange to see how how a student progress, for example. And here, if you provide a digital tool, of course, that is managed and where the settings and where some restrictions are not accessible for the family, so they're not able to change all the configuration of the tablets, it's easy for the family to communicate with the school and to help their child to better learn at school. So these are all the benefits of integrating digital tools. So we can have many others, but these are the ones that I presented to you today. And now we are going to see on the other side the problem that can be encountered if you use tablets. If you use tablets at school, if you use tablets that are not managed at school. So what are the problems encountered with the use of digital tools? First one, as I told you, unmanaged devices. So this is a real problem. It's not a small one, it's a real problem. It's the one that we see with the families and with the schools that which one we discuss with on TinyMDM, is that they provide tablets in the school, in the classroom, but the tablets are not managed at all. So the students are completely doing everything they want on the tablet. There's no restriction, so it's really a waste of time. Unrestricted internet access. Also, it's a problem encountered by the companies, by the school, is that all the students could have access to internet without any filtering system. So they can be able to access all the inappropriate website they can without any restriction, because there is no management on the tablets. Another problem is the waste of time configuring the devices. So schools have to configure devices, the administrator, so either the IT administrator of the school or the teacher, it depends who manages the tablets. If they don't have any way to manage the tablet remotely, they have to configure each one by one. So on each tablet, they have to say, I want those applications to be available. I don't want them to have access to this. I want those documents to be pushed. And it's really a waste of time because it's something that you can do remotely on the tablets. Also, you have the lack of digital skills among families. So this is something that I talked about previously. But to have tablets, if you have tablets that are not managed um, by a mobile solution, mobile device management solution, they will have a lack of digital skills because some families are not um, some families are not familiar with this, with how it works. So if you say you have to click to install this application, push this file, many will be lost and won't be able to use them. So they will just say, I want the tablets to be put somewhere else, and I want to use the tablet, so it won't be useful at all to have tablets. And last one is lack of student concentration. So indeed, having tablets um, can increase the student and concentration because they will have access to everything. If you don't manage the tablet at all, if you just say, I will give you a tablet and you will have access to everything, you just have to click on this application. Every student will go everywhere else. They will be distracted, of course, and they will try to go on every application as possible. So the idea is to avoid it on the tablets. But it's not really easy sometimes to avoid it. So that's why some solution exists. So now we are going to see how to deal with the issue that we see below, that we see before, sorry, by implementing an MDM solution. So how we can do that. So implementing an MDM solution is important, but first thing is to set up the appropriate digital tools. So it's recommended in the school, so either in primary school, in elementary school, or in university, it's recommended to have at least one digital screen or one projector per classroom. On this digital screen, sorry, it is possible to share content for the student for the exercises. For example, you can be able as a teacher to project something on the screen, and it would be more suitable than the classic blackboard where you just write the exercise down. Now you can push a file and it could be better. You can also say the other thing that is important, except the digital screen, is the computer or the laptop. So the computer is important because it's usually it's something that is usually available on the classroom. Everyone already have approximately a classroom per computer, sorry, per classroom. So it can allow each classroom to have lessons on the screen. So as a teacher, you will be able to push all the courses, all the lessons, or the files that you need on the computer, and you will be able either to project them on the digital screen, but also to project those files on the tablet of each student. The idea is that you will have a computer where you manage all the tablets, where you can see how the tablet works, and you can have also multiple digital tablets, as I write on the presentation. The idea is to have at least, we recommend at least that have one tablet per 6 students or one tablet per 1 student. And the idea is that the teacher will see on his computer all the devices. He can remotely take control of all the devices remotely. And he can push application, he can push files on each tablet, reduce the access, see what the student is doing on it. So it could be important to have a computer or a laptop per teacher and tablets per student. So you have here the appropriate digital tools, but now you also need to have, of course, the adapted management software, as I talked before. Adapted management software, what we mean by this is to have management software, a centralized one that enables you to manage all the tablets of the students. So the idea is that each teacher of the classroom will have access to the tablets of its classroom only, and not to have access to all the tablets of the other classroom that it don't need to manage. But here on the tablets, the idea is that the teacher will have access to the management software, as TinyMDM offers a management software, and it will be able to remotely control access on the tablet. So who will be able to access the tablet? You can push a password, for example. So each student has its password, and if we say it's one tablet per one user, per one student, each student will have its tablet with its password. No one will be available to access it. A teacher will be able to geolocate a tablet if a student is missing, for example. But it will also be possible to control the tablet to do a factory to do a not a factory reset, to do a remote control on the tablet if needed. So you can do it for one student. I want to see what one student is doing on his tablet. So on your desk, you can see what he's doing. So you can do it for one or for all the students that you need. So you can visualize or remotely control the devices. And you can also remotely, as a teacher, configure application and updates. So if you know that before your class, you need to push files for each student, you need to configure files and to push it before the class. You can do it on the morning. You say, I want those 3 files to be installed on the tablets of my students because I know that I have courses with them in 2 hours. You can push it and they will receive it on their tablets right after, and they will have it for the course. So the user won't be the students, sorry, won't be able to say that they forget their document at home, for example, because they will have them on the tablet. And same thing for the application, you will be able to push apps. You will be able to push apps remotely on each tablet, so every student have the same application. Now we are going to see what TinyMDM software offer, because I show you the management solution in general, what is important to have on the what important to choose on the management software that you will use. Now we are going to see the features that TinyMDM offers for education, what features are important for schools that we provide at TinyMDM. So what are the features the most adapted for school on TinyMDM? We have many features, but those one are the most important. The first one is the application management. It's important to have a software that enables you to push application remotely. So on TinyMDM, you are able to push application remotely, to install it remotely, to update each app remotely, to install or uninstall them. So if you have an application that you don't need anymore and you don't want a student to be able to access it, you just uninstall it remotely from the software, and the application will be off the device. Second one is the kiosk mode. So this is also a feature that is really important, and I think that's the one that is the most used by every school. I think that every school I discuss with use the kiosk mode, because the kiosk mode, it enables you to push one or multiple application on the screen, and it avoid each student to access settings and to access the Play Store. So all the Android devices, the students will only be able to see application and files needed, but they won't be able to push everything else. The kiosk mode, we have two types of kiosk mode. As you can see on the screen, it's a simple kiosk mode. It's a single application kiosk mode. So it means that you can push as a teacher or as the IT administrator, you can push only one application or one website or one document on the tablets, and every time the student try to unlock the tablet, it will see only this file or this application. You won't be able to go on the setting, to go on the Play Store, to try to install another app. You will only see this application, and that's it. And even though you want to go back on the home page, it will go back on this application. So it's really the most restrictive kiosk mode, and the one used if you only have one application that you want to push on the tablets. And the second kiosk mode is the multiple app the multiple application kiosk mode or multiple files. You can call it or however you want. The multiple kiosk mode is the fact that you can have multiple application, multiple files on the tablet. But as a student, if I have the tablet with me, I'm able to go on one of the applications that have been approved on the TinyMDM software. So I'm able to click on one of those applications, but I'm still not able to access the Play Store, and I'm still not able to access the settings. So I only have access to the application installed remotely, and that's it. I won't be able to install another app or anything. So this is the kiosk mode. Then another feature that is important at school is the content sharing, because I talked to you about the application and I talk about some files, because on TinyMDM it's a feature that you won't find on many MDM solutions. But on TinyMDM, you are able to push files on the tablets. So you can have when I mean files, it could be a PDF, it could be a picture, it could be a video, a music. You can push every file that you need on the software. You push them on the software, and then you decide which file will be on which devices, and then a student will be able to find its PDF, his picture, every file that you need. And when the devices are in kiosk mode, you are even able to create shortcuts of content. So it means that you can say a file will not be in the download part of a file section, for example. It will be directly on the screen. Will be a shortcut on the home page of the kiosk mode. So it's really as easy as it could be for the student to find the file quickly and not to have to go everywhere on the device to find it. The fourth features that we think is the most adapted for school is internet filtering. Because as I told you before, we have many schools who were saying that it was complicated to provide tablets for students because they will go to internet and do whatever they want on internet. So on TinyMDM, we develop a feature which is called the internet filtering system, where you have different restrictions. You have the whitelist of website, you have the safe for work filtering, and you have the blacklist of applications, so of a website. So you can block access to website, or you can say a student will be able only to access those 3 websites, for example. So you can really restrict access on the internet to the student. You can also say on the tablet that browser like Google Chrome, for example, won't be installed on it. So the student won't be able to access internet at all. But if you let them have access to it, you can push an internet filtering system so that they won't be able to navigate on every website that exists. Another features that we have is the remote control. So this is the remote view or remote control. It depends on the devices that you have. But on all the Android devices, you can remotely visualize the devices. So you are able here to see what's happening on the device of each student. So as a teacher, as I told you before, you have your laptop where you can see when you can push content, you can push application on the tablet of your students. And then you can also remotely control or remotely view what's happening on the devices. So you can ask for a remote session on the software TinyMDM, and you can see what on which page is the student, what is it doing on its tablet, if it's working well, if he has any issue with the work you asked him. So you can see all of it with the remote control feature. And last one is the connectivity. Connectivity management. This is a feature important. It means that on TinyMDM, as I told you, you can be in kiosk mode. And in kiosk mode, the settings and the Play Store is hidden on the devices. But you can say that you want to have to let access for the user to some settings. For example, some schools need to have access to the Wi-Fi. They need students to be able to modify the Wi-Fi if they are at home or if they are at school, for example, or they will need to be able to connect to Bluetooth or other features. So this is something that you can manage on TinyMDM. You can say, I want to block and secure Wi-Fi network. I want to pre-configure some Wi-Fi networks so users don't have to connect to to the Wi-Fi every time they are close to one. You can also block access to NFC. You can block many access on the connectivity, and you can grant other access on the other side. So these are all the features that we say that are the most adapted for schools, the ones that are the most used by our client in the educational sector. Now we're going to see TinyMDM, also then the feature. What are the advantages, sorry, of using TinyMDM if you don't already use it or if you don't know the advantages of using it. So TinyMDM is a solution that is first easy to use. It's easy to use for 3 reasons: user-friendly platform, easy to understand software, accessible via an internet connection. Indeed, TinyMDM, it has a user-friendly platform, which means that the platform is ergonomic, it's responsive, sorry, and it's possible to access TinyMDM from a computer, from a tablet, from a smartphone. You can do, if you need to do a modification on the software to push it on the tablets, you can do it from the platform that you need. It's possible to do it from a smartphone or a computer. It's really easy to access. You can access TinyMDM without having many things. You just need to be connected to internet. So it's just as easy as it looks like. And TinyMDM is a solution that our clients say it's easy to understand. It's a software that is easy to understand. It's easy to work. We have on our website, so not on the platform, but on the website, we have many tutorials. We have quick start guide. We have tutorials and videos, and pages where you can see how to install apps, how to remotely control a device, how to push content. So we have many tutorials on it. And also on the platform on TinyMDM itself, every feature that you have, you see a description of what it looks like, what does it mean, how does it works. So you won't be lost if you start using the software. You might not be lost. And TinyMDM is also a solution adapted to school because it's the theme of the presentation. So it is adapted to schools for 3 reasons also. So we said that TinyMDM is adapted to school because we do believe it's important to encourage education, digital education worldwide. So we do offer a discount for every educational institution, no matter the country. So it could be if you are based in United States, if you are based in India, if you are based in Austria, for example, it will be the same thing. You will have a discount automatically on TinyMDM. You just have to tell us that you are an educational institution, and we'll grant it to you no matter the number of devices you have to manage. We also offer customized access for the teacher, which means that on the tablets, one person has access to one tablet, or it could be many students for one tablet. But on the software, it's the same thing. It means that one manager could have access to the entire software, and you can have different managers that could be smaller managers. For example, if we say that the teachers will have smaller access on TinyMDM software, so they don't need to access the account, for example, they don't need to be able to have access to the payment means or anything, but they will need to have access to the devices of their classroom, of their students, to be able to push files. They will be able to modify a configuration on tablet. So you can have multiple managers with different email address and different access. So it's really helpful for teachers in the classroom. And last one thing that is important is the internet filtering system available, because as I told you before on the feature, we developed internally a filtering system that block access to inappropriate content. So it could be it's used in the business sector, but it could also be used in the educational one because it really restricts many access, and you can also decide which website will be blocked. So you can blacklist a lot of websites if you need to block some, and you can whitelist a lot of websites also if you need to. If you want to be sure your students won't have access to all the application that exist, you can block some access. And now, so we see the first part of the presentation, how TinyMDM works, what is important to do on TinyMDM. And now we are going to see a use case of TinyMDM. So this is one of our clients, the University of Munster. So I don't know if some of you know this university. It's based in uh, uh, not Deutschland. It's based in Deutschland. I'm sorry, in Germany. Sorry, it's based in Germany. So it's the University of Munster, and they use TinyMDM to manage tablets, to manage smartphones that are used for the Faculty of Medicine. So the use case of the University of Munster. So as I told you, the Faculty of Medicine in the university uses TinyMDM for some years. For some years now, they came to us because they needed to manage Android smartphone, and they wanted those Android smartphones to be configured in a uniform way. So every device will be configured exactly the same way, to be able to track attendance of each students in the seminar meetings. They need to restrict this smartphone. They just need with the smartphone to scan the barcode, for example, for each student. So they needed to find a solution that enabled them to configure multiple Android devices in a simple and uniform way in order to scan the student card. So it was a simple need, but they still have a few requirements to be able to use the software. Their first requirement was to have an easy and uncomplicated setup process to enroll new devices. So that's what we offer with TinyMDM. So they wanted something that was quick and that was simple and that can be done by someone who is not an IT expert. So teacher, for example. So they needed to be able to enroll as many smartphones as they need in few minutes in an easy way. And that's what we offer with TinyMDM. You are able to scan QR code in a simple way. You only have to scan a QR code on the software to be able to configure a tablet. You scan a QR code on the software, so you can scan the same QR code for multiple devices if you have them with you. You scan it, and then you just have to accept the condition of use, the user condition, and then the tablets are managed as expected on the software. The second requirement was to prevent both intentional and unintended setup changes on the smartphone. So they wanted the smartphone to be used for one use only, and they don't want anyone to be able to change the settings, add multiple apps, change anything on the device, intentionally or not intentionally. They wanted to be able to prevent this. So that's why they use TinyMDM, and they push devices in kiosk mode, in single application kiosk mode. So they only had access to one application, and that's it. Even though someone wanted to modify things, they wouldn't be able to because they didn't have access to any settings. And last but not least, the last requirement they needed was to avoid any training for the person in charge of the smartphone. They wanted something that enables them to understand easily how to use it. So with TinyMDM, they only have to unlock the device to use the application that open in full screen and to scan the student card. So it's really easy, and that's something that they needed with the MDM solution. So it has been 40 minutes. I don't know if any of you have questions on the software. I will share with you a handout document, so you are able to download the document I share with you. Is the Android MDM for Education. So if you are interested in, you can click on it if needed. And I will see the question that I have in the chat. So one question that I have, is TinyMDM available on iOS devices or is it only on Android? Yeah, I probably didn't mention it before in the webinar, but it's only TinyMDM is only available on sorry, is only available on Android devices. That's something that we really wanted to keep on TinyMDM, is to be a simple solution, a simple, easy to use solution. That's why we stay on Android devices. Because if you test solution, for example, that manage Android and iOS devices, you will see that it's really more complicated to configure, to use the software, and to understand how it works. It's really more complicated. So here we decided to keep it simple, and we are approved by Android and by Google for the fact that we stay with them and that we manage only the Android device in a simple way. Another question that I have: with how many schools do you work with? So I don't know, the person didn't mention the country. They mentioned a country, so I will understand the question internationally. But we're worldwide. I don't know the exact number of schools we work with, but I think we do have approximately hundreds. We have, that's for sure, we have hundreds of schools, but it depends on which country. But most of the school that we have approximately hundreds of school. They are either based in Europe. Most of them are based in Europe, and the other part is mostly based in the United States. But we also have some in Asia as well. But in Europe, it can be based in the UK, in Germany, Italy, in France. It can be based in many countries, but we do work with a lot of schools. And we also manage primary school. We start at elementary school, primary school, up to university. So it's a really wide range of schools that we work with. I see another question. Which brand of Android devices can we use with TinyMDM? You are not able to use iOS devices, so you're not able to use Apple devices, but on Android devices, you can use the one that you want. We have a lot of clients that use Samsung devices or Lenovo devices also. So Samsung, Huawei, Lenovo. You can use also cross-call devices. So you can use the brand that you want on Android devices. The only thing that you have to have on your Android device is to be sure that they are compatible with Android for work, and that they have the Google mobile services. So you have to make sure that the Play Store is available on the devices you are going to use, and that they work on Android OS and not on a personalized OS. But you can use the devices you want. You can test on the devices that you want. I don't see other question on the chat. So I will skip. I will close the meeting now because it's 45. So if you have any other question, feel free to ask us. You can see our email address here on the screen, so you can contact us at sales@tinymdm.net if you have any question. And you can also find us on our website at www.tinymdm.net. So thank you everyone for being here. Have a nice day. Goodbye.